I'm good. I'm well lit. Then just give me the cue whenever. You can flip the switch.
What was that? What? What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Damn. They have arrived. They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, weirdos. How's everybody doing out there in Weirdo Land? It is the Weird Whatever podcast, and how the heck is everybody doing?
Doing great. It looks a little light in here, though. I feel like we're missing somebody.
Yeah, let's do a little roll call. Denny's, are you here?
I am.
Vicky, are you here?
Present.
Mr. Beckett. Ryan Beckett. Mr. Beckett. Ha ha ha. Nope, he is not here. I guess Mr. Beckett is in, Italy?
It's so funny. We found out because we were looking at the Instagram page, and I think he might be in Italy. I think he might be in another country.
I do want to say we're going to announce a new member of the Weird Whatever podcast. We're very excited to announce our new producer. So excited. But here's what I need from you weirdos out there. If you are live chatting with us on YouTube, I need you to go ahead and submit hot seat questions for our new producer, Ariel. She's going to be on the hot seat today. I'm going to use the hot seat questions from you, the people. Make her sweat. Make her feel uncomfortable. All right.
Oh, jeez.
Vicky, how was your week? Any crazy psychic stuff go on?
There's been a few things. I went over some exciting audio from a Miami case and got a really interesting EVP that kind of confirmed like all the psychic walkthrough that I did. So that was always exciting when you get that confirmation.
Okay, so you walked into the place today and you're saying you're getting, again, major ghost-like activity touching you currently right now.
Right.
Like a ghost is touching you right now.
Right. You had told me to look something up, and I was sitting here with my phone, and something touched the top of my hand. And that hasn't happened since that first time, that we had that kind of interaction.
What was I telling you to look up?
It was about DNA and it helping to solve, 1996 murder, rape and murder.
Once again, Denny's DNA is solving a case from back in the day. We're talking,
Yeah.
You're right, the 90s you said, Vicky?
Yeah, I think it was 96.
Yeah, it says more than 2 decades after 18-year-old Angie Dodge was raped and fatally stabbed in her apartment in Idaho Falls, the new forensic science of genetic genealogy has finally helped find a suspect whose DNA matches semen left at the scene 20 years later.
Yeah.
And pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it was amazing how they did it because they had to go through and they came up with like 3 family trees. And then from that, they narrowed it down to a particular couple that would have been descendants, and then started trickling down from that to narrow down the suspects in order to catch the killer.
If you are a murderer, you got to be shitting your pants. It could be at any day. It's some new rookie comes on the case,
Yeah.
and says, you know what, I want to open this case up again, and they solve it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy with the DNA stuff because, like you said, imagine being like you think you got away with it. Now I'm glad there's being some like justice served here, where people can't live a peaceful life.
Oh, we've talked about it here on the podcast. We want to solve that Rachel Hurley case. The murder out in Jupiter. If anybody knows any kind of information, that happened, I believe, in 1991. If you don't know that case, please Google it. Get familiar with that. If you are a weirdo, that's one of those cold cases we are trying to get some answers to. Rachel Hurley, I believe, 1991. Google it. Plenty of information. Why don't we go ahead and just get this thing started off with some Denny's random facts?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you're listening at home for the first time, Vicky, who is our educator, she's going to grade each and every one of Denny's facts. If it sucks, he gets a...
Well, I've never given him an F, but, maybe a D. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I dance close to the Fs.
Yes, he has, really.
I like to tiptoe
really.
around them.
Denny's blew our mind.
Well, so I've been really fascinated with the early 1900s and with like the kind of the craze of people then who were trying to invent things. The world was full of wonder at the time. They're bringing new exotic animals from other countries, so there's a lot of people to impress. And a lot of these companies that we have that are big companies today, like the one I'm going to use in this example, Listerine, started back in about 1875, and it didn't gain popularity till about the late 1920s. But originally, Listerine was invented in the 19th century as a powerful surgical antiseptic. But the guy was trying to market it to become rich. It was like one of the things they did back then. And it was later distilled and sold as floor cleaner and then as a cure for gonorrhea. But it wasn't successful until 1920 when they solicited it as a solution for chronic halitosis, which is bad breath.
What would you rather have? A case of gonorrhea, which is curable,
For sure.
or halitosis? How do you say
Chronic
it?
halitosis.
Yeah, which you where there's nothing you can't fix your bad breath, Vicky. You have bad breath for the rest of your life. You take the syphilis or the gonorrhea.
The gonorrhea.
Either one. I mean, syphilis,
Yeah.
gonorrhea is kind of the same thing.
But it's funny, it was originally just as an antiseptic, and then they finally found its niche, and it didn't become successful until they decided, because it cleans so well, essentially kills the germs, that it was used for the bad breath, which is what we use it still today for.
Okay, and they never changed the original formula.
The formula, it was just distilled to a thicker concentrate.
Okay, I like that one.
I like it
actually.
too.
Because it's kind of cool that old companies like what we have now, and that's funny. That was Johnson & Johnson, which is still around. That was back when they first were buying, trying to make products.
Oh, Johnson & Johnson baby oil. It feels so good on your skin.
Oh, it
Not to
does.
sound creepy, but oh, Vicky, it feels so good. You feel so free.
Yeah, that wasn't creepy. All right, that one was an A.
Okay, wow, you got an A for that one, Denny's. Very nice.
Well, thank you. This one was for the bird, kind of just to play with your childhood. But I don't know if you've heard this, just being a fan of Star Wars and whatnot. But George Lucas originally planned for Yoda to be played by a monkey wearing a mask, carrying a cane.
Awful.
Yeah, well, the story of Monkey Yoda was revealed by the author J.W. Rinsler in 2010 book, The Making of The Empire Strikes Back. But they were going to use the monkey, but during production, they couldn't get the monkey to keep the mask on. He would constantly play around it, so they scrapped the whole idea, instead replacing him for a puppet voiced by Frank Oz out of just, I guess, annoyance with having to deal with him.
Vicky, I don't know if you're a big Star Wars fan. You kind of tuned out mentally on that
yeah,
one.
Yeah, I mean, B minus.
That's what I said. It's for the bird.
D minus, you said?
B.
Oh, B. Okay.
B minus.
That's for you because I know you like the Star Wars. But your favorite character, Yoda, you would have been actually, praising a monkey in a mask with a cane.
Vicky, can you do your best Yoda impersonation? If somebody came in right now with a machete and said, Vicky, if you don't give me your best Yoda impersonation, the bird gets it. What do you got?
It was nice knowing you.
Oh, come on. You got a
outta
little.
here.
There's some Yoda wisdom.
Damn. Being a psychic make you cold, Vicky. I didn't ask for you, Dennis.
Oh, I think that's a pretty decent Yoda, right?
No.
All right. Well, we'll move on from the Yoda.
You have to go more like. Yes. Does that sound like Yoda or not really?
Yeah, you do a good Yoda.
Thank you. I've been practicing since I was like 2.
I'm gonna say, is that a little role play over there? You sound well practiced.
I'd like me some Yoda, Vicky.
What do you guys think of this concept with the wealthy? Back in the 18th century, the wealthy used to keep garden hermits. It was a profession where they would hire somebody to live on their property as a hermit, and usually would dress as a druid and live in grottos. And they were pretty much there for entertainment. They weren't allowed to cut their hair or nails, and they were kind of treated as like onboard sages of their property. It was a very popular trend with the aristocrats who, when they first started making a lot of money.
Wow, that was met with a lot of silence, Denny's.
Yeah, I'm trying to process that one.
Damn.
So yeah, the wealthy people would hire hermits to live on their property and act as like fancy old sages. And it was a very popular trend in France, and then it spread throughout the Western Europe.
Okay.
So, are you talking about the...
Yeah, you guys don't like garden
I'm
hermits?
I'm just kidding. Baby, I love it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good fact.
I mean,
I'm just
it's interesting. I just don't know the point. But
The
okay.
point is just to look cool.
Just to look like they. But I mean, didn't eventually everybody know that that wasn't really a sage person? That it was a homeless person?
Oh yeah, but then they started dressing them up in eccentric outfits, and they would have them create just like characters that lived on their property. That's what I was saying. Like they would dress them like druids, and they would act like they were like wood people.
Okay.
But
No,
you're basically hiring like a homeless person to live on your property and then
Yeah.
act out your fantasies.
Would you date a wood person? Very sweet, very tender lover, but lives out in the woods, just needs to be in the
Sure.
woods? Really?
Sure.
I don't see you.
Sure.
You told me you were very stuck up in high school. There's no way you're dating
Well,
a
I'm
wood.
not in high school anymore. I'm getting up here in years. I can't be too particular at this point.
Not to interrupt Denny's random facts. If you're watching on YouTube Live, we do have the Chewy cam going, and I gotta tell you, Chewy is
Going off.
He's completely nodded out. The camera's right on his mug, and he's just passed out. I love that dog. All right, go on, Denny's.
Well, so I'll throw this stat at you, just because we always talk about how much people work here in America compared to other countries, and Americans work more than any other country as far as hours. Maybe not in quality of work, but as far as hours, Americans work on average 137 more hours per year than the Japanese, 260 per more year than the UK, and 500 more than France.
Oh, and I think the key for you, saying quality.
It's hours worked, whether it's useful hours or not. That's just by standard. Americans put more time into work.
I mean, you could work 90 hours a week, and if you are giving shitty hours,
You're
then
giving 40.
You might as well just, go skip stones on a creek, Denny's.
So you wonder, because we look at other countries and other cultures, how they spend their time, giving more vacations, giving leaves when you have kids, giving leaves when you're stressed, stuff and that such. America just kind of goes by the old principles, and we still work the same hours from an old formula of how we should work.
I kind of feel like that's changing a little bit
It
here
is.
in
I'm
the
noticing.
U.S. I feel like here in the West now, all of a sudden, people are going, shit this, man, I'm only working 4 days a week, and I'm going to get the quality time with the family, which I do understand. I mean, life is oh so short, and if you're just grinding constantly, that's not an existence. That sucks.
And it's making into, I mean, not that it hasn't in the past, but it seems more prevalent these days where, like you said, people are opening up their eyes to how much time they're spending doing things that they don't care about, and they're not being compensated for the work that they're actually putting in. So nobody's going to want to put in extra work because we already put in a ton of work.
Right.
I love it, Denny's. Vicky, what are your thoughts on what he's laying down?
It's another B.
Shit,
It's
man.
another B. I mean,
It's got a
you
lot
got-
of
you gotta-
numbers in there. I get
Yeah.
it.
All right, give us one more and give us your best.
Well, so I brought this one in for Beckett, who I didn't know was like in Mulan or whatever, but like, so I know he likes technology and he's always, into like whatever the pioneering technologies are.
He's saving hybrids of mules and horses.
Yeah.
They're a new species out there.
The burrows. But this one was brought in for him. So you guys know the Bluetooth technology, the promiscuous technology we know and love and use on a daily. Well, that's actually named after a 10th century Danish tribesman who consolidated all the tribes in Denmark to a single kingdom. And his name was Harold Bluetooth Gormson, a very bird made-up name.
Gormson.
Gormson, yeah. Well, King Gormson here, his middle name was Bluetooth because I guess his dental hygiene was so bad that his teeth were decaying. They had like a black interior, so it gave him a blue appearance. So he had blue teeth. But the technology was named after him, and the symbol, the B that we all know, is actually one of his initials in the old Danish language.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bummed out are you if Jen stopped taking care of her teeth and they start rotting out?
Ooh, it's rough.
And she wasn't gonna. She's not taking care of it. She's not gonna get dentures. She's not gonna get implants. She's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna let them rot.
That's tough. I'd be really bummed out. Because, I mean, that's something that you got to interact with.
We go to an event and she's like, hey guys, and her teeth are rotting out. And I'm not trying to make fun of people that have rotten teeth. I'm just asking the question. Would you be able to? How do you address it? If you're married and you're committed to that person, and something at that level happens where you are, bummed out about what they're doing, how do you address that?
Yeah, I mean, that is a game changer.
How do you do that, Vicky?
I don't know. But that definitely is.
Okay.
That's the end as far as the teeth thing.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people that
That
would
would
be
be you. So you're married to a guy. Let's say you're married to. I mean, this guy is unbelievable, but his teeth are rotting, and he's not going to get them fixed.
Well,
That-
then he's not unbelievable. I mean,
That's
it's unbelievable he's not getting
yeah,
fixed.
exactly.
that's grounds, in your opinion, to divorce somebody.
Yeah, because the thing is if it's that important to me, he should put a little bit of importance on himself for that. That's basic hygiene 101. That's
Agreed.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Agreed. All right.
know.
I love it.
it's not like he's just growing his hair long or something. You can put it back
Plus,
in a pony.
If you're just drinking water out of the tap, it's got fluoride. That at least gotta help some. That means he's not even drinking any water from the tap.
Okay, so is that real? Is there fluoride in our water? That is definitely a fact.
Yeah, so originally people's teeth were so bad that they had to start fluoridating water because just the dental hygiene wasn't there yet. And now we have, practicing dentists and stuff. So we don't necessarily need the fluoride anymore like we used to.
Okay, when was this going on? When the fluoride in people's
have to
teeth,
cite-
are we talking 1900s? Are we talking earlier than that?
I think it was 1900s. Fluoridation in water, I believe, it had to be like the 1940s, I would guess. I'm looking it up right now.
Could you imagine living in the 1900s? How shitty it probably
Well,
was.
because everybody's learning at that time.
I mean, do you even have air conditioning in 1903? Is
Dude,
there
we
air
didn't even get
conditioning?
air conditioning until like past the 60s.
Really?
Well, because, the old cars used to have those jalousie windows and same
Mm-hmm.
old windows here in Florida. The old houses, they all had the jalousie ones because they let the air in a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to do some research on numbers here. But the argument now is they say you should take the fluoride out of the water because they've noticed, and I mean, it's purely speculation, that it calcifies one's mind eye. So they're saying it causes desensitization in population.
It makes people, I've heard, the fluoride makes people passive, kind of turning into that mass sheep-like mentality.
Yeah.
Where they don't want to fight anymore. Is that a real thing? Are we drinking ourselves into a passive state?
That's what they say, and that's what they say about adding marijuana to the culture, trying to pacify the masses as well, having alcohol in the culture, things to cause people to not want to resist or uprise.
But I think for marijuana, some people, I mean, the
It's different for everyone.
The stigma's always like, hey, man, I'm smoking weed. But, I mean, for some people, it actually is it kind of stabilizes your mood and makes it makes you
Helps
more
with depression and
big
things
time.
like that.
Well,
Yeah.
so-
it gives you
Anxiety.
energy.
Yeah.
Funny, and I'm pretty low key, definitely, but like internally, I mean, I think there's a lot going on, and marijuana is the one thing that can slow my brain down a little bit. So I kind of find it essential for me, and that's just my own experience with it. But I can see what you're saying, because I know a lot of people that gain energy from it, boost the excitement, and it all just depends on your body chemistry.
Here's an email from Ashley. She lives in New York, and it's really kind of more directed to you, I think, Vicky. Hey, guys, I went to a psychic up here in New York. Long story short, she told me to break up with my boyfriend. She said she had a terrible feeling about him and said, I need to move on. I actually took her advice and broke up with him. I feel like I made a huge mistake. I love him, but I also really trust my psychic. How do I get my man back? Or should I just listen to my psychic and let him go? Ashley from New York. I used to live in West Palm. Vicky, your thoughts about psychics telling you to do something so drastic.
Right. When I give a reading and I come up with something that's more on the negative side, I very carefully give that information while constantly saying, don't take whatever I say as the gospel. I don't know everything. This is just the feeling I get. And just be aware of this, this, and this. I've never told anybody, oh, you need to break up with them now. You need to run. You need to never speak to them again. I've never said that. Even if I maybe saw that, I never would say that, because there are people who go to psychics and really take every single word that comes out of their mouth as gospel, and they act on it.
Big
and that's
time.
dangerous.
It is.
It's very dangerous.
Because there's a lot of shitty psychics out there.
Right.
There really is.
Right.
There's. It's kind of like when somebody listens to every single thing even a therapist says.
Right.
I mean, a therapist is human. And
Yeah.
I do believe in self-therapy and going to therapy if that's what you need. But keep in mind, too, therapists are human. I mean, I've gotten shitty ass advice from professional doctors that I know in my heart was wrong advice.
Right.
And,
Now-
and that's someone who trained for that.
I mean, I would ask Ashley how many times the psychic has been correct, and if there have been things that, definitely were pieces of good advice, and then go from there and weigh. But you always have to go with your gut instinct. So if her gut is telling her to try to get him back, she's got to go with her gut.
I love it, Vicky. I love it. I do want to remind everybody in the chat room, we're going to be doing a hot seat today with our new producer, Ariel. Now, Ariel also was a KVJ intern. We love Ariel. Ariel, very talented person in radio. I'm glad that she's back, and I'm glad that she's with us. Do you have any kind of a tough, hot, heated question you could bring, Ariel?
Yeah, well, I'll do some. I'll look at what the people are commented, kind of hybrid one.
The people need to
Or just let the
bring
people
heat.
ask.
I know no one's asking any questions here. That's why I'm stretching that.
Oh, I hear you.
No, I remember. I think it was like the first time I met her. This is why I like her. She came up. I was wearing this ring, and I don't know if you remember, but I was wearing this ring that had like this bluish stone. And you went up and said, "Oh, I love this ring." And then you looked at my eyes, and you go, "Oh my God, your eyes are so pretty." So that's why I remember. That's why I love her.
Always. You always keep people around that compliment you, Vicky, and agree with you.
Exactly.
That's every politician. They just keep people who agree with them
Yeah,
and
yes,
compliment them. Exactly. Okay. How about this, Vicky? I was talking to somebody on Instagram that wants to do an interview with us about tarot cards. What are your thoughts on tarot? I know we've talked about it a bit.
Yeah. And I did have a guest line up at one point, and then we changed studios, and we didn't have the phone and stuff like that, who's like an expert on it.
I think we should bring somebody in for
Have
a
'em
tarot
read
reading.
us.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Do you believe in that?
I do not mess with tarot cards.
So you are thinking this is of the devil.
There are people that believe that tarot. In fact, the guest that I had lined up, it says that tarot cards are in direct conflict with Christian beliefs. Now, I don't know because I have not researched it. I've had a tarot reading before, so I can't say that I haven't participated on the receiving end. I just don't do it on my end.
Got ya. I dated a girl who's really back in the day who's really into these cards, and her aunt gave me a reading, and the whole time, like the aunt pulled a card with this guy, and he had 19 knives in his back, and the aunt pulls the card, and clearly they're like communicating with their eyeballs, going, "Okay, this is a reading about this guy you're dating," and the whole time, you know, they pull the card, the knives are in the back. Oh my gosh. I'm like, what does that mean? Oh, nothing. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, what? This is insane.
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with, the luck of the draw, so to speak, and which cards come up. And again, it's one of those things where you have the danger of it being a self-fulfilling prophecy if you take it, too seriously.
Do you believe in that? Where you can think something to the point where you can worry yourself into that becoming your truth?
Oh, yeah.
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 Absolutely. I think you can cause your own demise.
What you think about, you bring about.
Well, like that.
I really believe it.
Can we get that on a shirt?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I probably can because I have a shirt connection.
I love it. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think sometimes you can be your worst enemy. Shoot yourself in the foot. I mean, have you ever met somebody like that where they are their own demise? They really cannot.
I think everybody's their own worst enemy.
You're right. That's a great point, actually.
Because the only thing keeping you from doing anything is your own self. Like, because you look at other people that do stuff and you're like, how the heck do they do that? How do they get out there and do that? But everybody has that potential.
And the other thing, too, we don't think about, even though we know it's true, the one person you have to spend every single second with is yourself. So if you don't like yourself, if you are annoyed with yourself, that's got to suck, man.
Well, if you're fundamentally denying things that you know to be true internally, you're lying to yourself right from the get-go is only going to snowball into multiple extra effects that could be going on in your life. You could honestly make your life easier by just accepting exactly who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're very weird creatures.
We are.
We're always trying to defend ourselves for our insecurities, the stuff that we don't like about ourselves. I'm not like that. What are you talking about?
Or we'll get offended by something, and then you're like, why the heck am I even offended by it? Like, it's so in the moment. You defend yourself for some reason, and you're like, why am I doing that? I know that's not true.
We're emotional creatures.
We are.
The emotions are rough.
It is, man. I think that is the toughest part about being a human being is balancing all of the emotions that come with being alive on a planet where we don't know what the shit is going on.
Oh,
we don't know what's going on this planet. I'm sorry. Any human that says they know what's happening has no idea what's going on.
So you have no idea what's going on, but you're given the ability to kind of try to like absorb what it is, and then you're given emotions that you have to try to control while trying to figure it out. It's a lot to put on a person.
I mean, everyone's got theories on why we're here as a species, but nobody knows. Vicky, why the shit are we here?
I have no freaking clue.
That's why I take solace in the fact that there's no one out there that can like just tell me I'm wrong. I'm like, dude, you have no proof.
But then we're gonna get an email or several
sure.
about people who are religious.
Well, so I
And-
mean, that's their faith. I totally get it.
And you talk to somebody who believes a certain way about the religion, and they'll tell you it's a knowing, and they believe, oh no, you go to heaven, or you go to here, or you do this, and that's the way it is, and there's no budging their belief system.
Which is fine.
agree.
I
Yeah,
feel that
that's
people
theirs.
should.
yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
People
I
should have
I
that.
completely agree.
But at the same time, I should be able to have my own as well.
Yep.
I mean, I shouldn't be condemned for thinking something different.
But I think it's when somebody acts like they know for 100%. That's
Right.
when you're
But
like,
then
all
you
right.
can take solace in the fact that they don't, and that it's
You
an
just smile and
insecurity.
walk
It's
away.
tough, dude. It's tough for every single person walking to not know the answer. It's awful.
Let's see what the old people in the chat room are saying. They want to know if that's a still shot of Chewie. Nope.
No, he's
Chewie-
been that still.
Let's see if he even gets up. Chewie. Chewie.
There he goes.
There he is. Good boy. Oh, gosh.
There's a little delay. They'll see it.
Yeah, he's up. He's just, it's Saturday morning. It's summertime, y'all. He's on summer break.
Yeah, this is the beginning of summer here.
Would you rather be abducted or talk to spirits, Jay Bird? That's a question in the chat room. Would I rather be
Oh, so would you rather have a ghost experience speaking to some sort of apparition, or would you rather be abducted by aliens?
That's a good one. So I've already had a ghost. I mean, I've had several ghost
Right.
moments. Give me the aliens. We were talking about on the KVJ show. If a UFO came down right now and said, Jay Bird, come with us. We're going to go explore in space. I think I would go.
We're
Do you go?
robots.
Oh, I would go.
You would.
Yeah, I
But-
would go.
Okay, but nobody knows you're gone. Your daughter, everyone, Bobby Joe, all of your loved ones think you have been. You're.
They're like, we have
missing."
to go now.
Yeah, they're on the news.
They'll be
Vicky!
they'll be
They're
okay
running
once I
late.
come back. They're fine.
Oh, I don't know if you're coming back.
Oh, well, you just threw that one in. So I don't know. If
That'd
I'm
be a
not
tough
coming back, no.
It's a tough call. Yeah, but you're pretty much at the mercy of what they want to do.
I love how your wife is in the chat room starting shit.
Oh, what's she saying?
She's got a would you rather for Ariel.
All right.
It's if Ariel had to destroy one of Bird's prize studio decorations in front of him while making eye contact.
We got the camera. We could break one.
Which one would she choose? Let's go ahead and meet Ariel. Let's go ahead and meet our new producer. We're very pumped to have Ariel. Yeah, if you guys want to switch or whatever. Now, like I said earlier in the podcast, Ariel does come from the KVJ family. She was an intern with us, and she was supposed to get a job with us, and she ended up getting a job, I think, in the sales department or promotions. Ariel, how the heck are you? Welcome to the Weird family. If you want to put the headphones on, you can. If not, we don't have to do that. How the heck are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Just make sure you talk into that microphone. We're used to
know, I
Beckett's laugh.
I know, right?
Okay, so Ariel, how old are you?
I am 25.
25. Single, married, divorced.
How do I zoom this out? Because I am very close to this camera.
You are
Oh, just sit back. Pull that mic up to your mouth.
Yeah, back up a little bit. There you go.
my gosh,
She is
she's so tall.
Look how close she is, though.
Oh, because we haven't zoomed in for the Chewy cam, I think. Let me fix that.
Denny's is gonna fix that. Okay, so you are single, married, divorced.
I am single, living with my parents.
Okay, and your parents get along with them?
Do I get along with my parents?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, enough with these bullshit easy questions. Okay, so Jen had a question. What would, if you had to, you have to destroy something right in front of me, making eye contact. What would you do? You could go evil or you could go very nice.
Right? I'm trying to think. Because I know what's in those cases.
Oh,
are very important.
The cases are important.
Ooh, this is difficult.
Cases are a good spot. I mean, he loves his G.I. Joes. That's a pretty good spot to start.
I would probably go with what's on the ceiling.
Very-
I would
Oh.
smash a ship.
That is so fudged up. Those are the most expensive things here. You are evil.
Smash the Millennium Falcon. That'll be the one that...
Okay, Vicky, what do you got for Ariel?
Oh, I have to ask a question.
Oh, yeah, on the spot.
On the spot. Oh.
Denny,
gosh,
do you
my
have a
brain
question?
doesn't work this early on a Saturday.
Do you have a question, Denny's?
Oh, I have a question. I got it now.
Okay.
So have you had like any like ghost encounters or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Tell us.
Yes. Well, one time I was in my kitchen and I was doing something, getting something out of the cupboard. I looked up, I saw my dad, and it just because he lives there, so I just went back to what I was doing. And then I heard the shower, but the duration of time between me seeing him and him turning on the shower would not have been possible. So I looked up and I was just very confused. So I went to the bathroom. I was like, "Were you just in the kitchen?" He was like, "No." And I looked at my mom and I was like, "Did you?" Okay. That was the weirdest experience of my life. But it was, my mom just looked at me like, "Yeah, okay, normal, fine."
Vicky, shower stuff, does that happen a lot? That's what I saw. That was the shower was the worst ghost experience I ever had in my life. And I've told you about this several times. I was in the shower back at Brandywine where I lived back there, which was very haunted. That place was really haunted. And I was in the shower and this old woman flashes right up right in front of me and kind of like makes this crazy face. She looked like a ghost, but she also looked like a person.
Right.
And then she disappeared and never saw her again.
Yeah.
And I was stone cold sober, and that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I never even thought about it till you said that. But my sister, one of her most vivid encounters was she had a boyfriend that had been killed, and I think it was the day of his funeral, and she was in the shower, and when she opened up the shower curtain, he was standing there, but he was already decomposing.
Ugh.
And so that was like her most vivid encounter, and I just didn't even think about it. It was connected to the shower.
You think the water?
Well, water is supposed to be a conduit, so I could see where more things could happen in moisture. Now, as far as what happened to you, it could have been two things. It could have been that you saw a spirit, and because your mind was not ready to admit that wasn't your dad, it just substituted and made you assume it was your father.
And that's what I figured.
Yeah, or it could have been a
Her
doppelganger.
mic.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard other stories. Like, my mom used to live in a haunted apartment in New York when she was growing up, and she said, like, a similar thing happened to her, where a ghost just took on the figure of her father and just tried to scare the crap out of her.
Me and Denny's are talking notes on the side.
Yeah, you're on video.
Yeah, it's like right into that mic.
I know. Denny's I know. I'm so smooth with that.
Nobody's that bad.
To bring back with the can you just hit that little chord, Ariel? There is a little.
She's got to turn hers up. I have her down because Beckett laughs, but she talks like half the volume of Beckett, so I have
That's
her all
good.
the way up. That's why you're hearing a ring.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's what you were whispering
I
about.
have heard, Vicky, when it comes to water, some people say that's the reason why they actually see a ghost, because there's water trapped underneath the ground and the house, if that makes sense.
Like an
let-
aquifer.
Yeah, let's say you got a house where it's collecting water,
Right.
and there's evil shit going, or maybe they're just the water itself is kind of like a conductor or a
Yeah, like a conduit. It's making it easier, or even a theory could be is that those water vapors, because water's constantly evaporating and things like that. So as it's evaporating, those water vapors are able to attach itself to a spirit in order to be able to manifest and see them better. Now, there's also something that says that spirits can't cross water. So you definitely have two different theories. And there's some cultures where if you put a glass of water on your windowsill or under your bed, a spirit can't get to you because they can't cross that water.
I honestly think I'm allergic to water. I'm not even joking, and that's a real thing. Somebody called into our show, and the daughter, this woman called in. She said, "My daughter is absolutely allergic to water," and I think I have that too. Okay, let's get back to Ariel.
Yeah.
Denny's, you got a hot seat question. Make
Well,
it real
so
hot.
are we doing learning about Ariel, or are we doing hot seat? Because that
Both.
last one was not necessarily too hot seated.
Yeah, you know what? We can just we can take our time with it.
I'm open to whatever.
So I was going to see about her experiences with aliens. What her thoughts on that, since we've already covered ghost here. What her thoughts are as far as like where you think, if we have aliens, if we've been visited, if you think they're hiding amongst us, if they're out in the oceans.
We all do believe in aliens here, so don't
Yeah.
blow it.
Well, I do believe in aliens. I feel like it would be arrogant of us as a human race to think that we're the only things in the universe, whether they're human, whether they're like little green people. That's up to interpretation. But
Do you guys? Did anybody here believe in the reptilian? The reptilian species, where they think politicians like Hillary Clinton is a reptilian lizard.
the
And that's-
Draconos, right?
By the way, that's not a political statement. Google that shit. Hillary Clinton's a lizard. I'm just telling you what's out there. Don't be emailing me about political bullshit.
Yeah, I think they're like the Draconians is the name of the race, the reptilian
Yeah.
race that enslaves humanity.
Would you date a reptilian dude? He is awesome, and you know he's reptilian, but he shows you his reptilian face when you guys get busy. he's got a reptilian face, but everyone else sees him as a human. But he treats you so good, Ariel.
But why am I the only one who sees him?
Because it's true love. You have to see him for what he is.
At all times?
No, just when you guys are. So as soon as he comes home, it's almost like taking off a jacket. He takes off his face, reptilian.
Is it like?
But he is super hot when he's outside.
Okay. I
You
mean,
just stay outside.
Take the good with the bad. In love, blinders. Why not? Go ahead.
Vicky,
Yeah, I'll go. You know, I went for the forest man before, so fine. I'll
Yeah,
go for the reptilian.
the garden hermit.
the forest man.
I want to get a garden hermit.
I want to become a forest man.
Yeah. Go out in the woods.
Okay, Ariel, who is, okay, how about this? When is the first time you really had your heart broken? This will be your last question. Tell us who broke your heart, what did they do to you, and let's shame them.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been in love, so I've never had my heart broken.
Wow.
So if anybody is up to being my first love,
Do you want to, is falling in love a priority for you, or are you one of those people, if it happens, it happens. If you're 45, you're 45.
well, I mean, it would be nice. If it doesn't happen, I'm not gonna like cry crocodile tears. But I mean, I would like to experience all of what life can provide. So
Including buffets. I think we all need to go to at least one kick-ass buffet.
Texas de Brazil, that buffet.
That's rich people
Glorious.
buffet.
Yeah.
That's a rich people.
We're talking like crazy buffet. Probably.
I'm talking about Shoney's.
Well, if you're gonna do it right.
Do you guys remember Shoney's?
Oh yeah.
Yes, the breakfast one was my favorite.
I love Shoney's. The only thing I didn't like about Shoney's was when I loved they always had that vat of cheese sauce there where you would pour it on.
Sounds good.
It's really, really good, but it would get that hard cheese skin on top of it. There's
The
certain thing.
membrane.
It's almost like the you see the puppet strings at the puppet show, and I don't want to see that. It's like when you know what hot dogs are made of. Pig butthole.
Yeah. Pig everything.
Pig everything. The whole kitchen sink of the pink. The pink. The pig.
Damn, what's Bird thinking about? Kidding. So, does Ariel got them walls up, or are you just not found that person yet?
Are you like me? Do you have walls up?
Walls Pennington?
That's my nickname on the show, Walls Pennington.
Well, apparently, like scientifically, if you're in a relationship for 3 months, you pretty much know if you're in love or you can see the potential of love.
Do you believe that?
I mean, to a certain degree, yeah, because my relationships have only lasted about 3 or 4 months.
But 3 months, by the way, for people who are kind of like you and myself, 3 months is usually about the cut
Cut
off.
off,
I don't know why it works out that way.
I mean, scientific facts. It's just how our bodies work.
What are your thoughts on all this, Vicky? You hear this, you being a lover yourself?
Okay.
I
Well, I
didn't mean
mean,
that in a pervy way, by the way. I meant like lover as in
Yeah.
lover of all things.
no, I mean, I can definitely see the advantage of like keeping yourself. I could see the 3 to 4 month thing because then at that point you really do have to make some kind of like more of a commitment.
I think that's
So I can see
exactly
that.
so. The 3 to 4 month thing, I've figured it out. You've been called to the carpet, and you've got to make a friggin' decision.
Yeah.
And you're either suffocating or you want to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and you use that 3 month prior to kind of gauge what your next decision will be. Like, do they call often enough? Are they affectionate enough? Are they like you have your good information, a good base of information to make that decision after that.
Denny's, you believe that the 3 month test, you could tell if it's the right person within 3 months by the third month.
Yeah, I think from their personality will bleed in there. I think it'll go a little bit longer if you're trying to go something more fundamental and long lasting. But like, yeah, if you're going on like a superficial surface level, I bet you 3 months is plenty of time.
I couldn't disagree more. I feel like son of a bitches can lie and just put on this whole I've seen it before, Vicky. People can lie and be something they are not with a mask for at least 2 years.
Yeah,
They can.
Yeah.
3
I think they
years.
can.
Absolutely.
If you're, especially if you're not living with them, you know, I've never had a relationship where I've lived with somebody and I've seen every single mood and emotion of that person.
But I think too, we put up our blinders too, as
Yeah,
well. So
blinded.
I think, and during that time period, you've had more than one clue that that's not really the way they are, but you just kind of block it.
You're blocked by love and lust.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're talking about love with 3 months. Okay.
You're talking about lust for 3 months.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's more, I really like you and I love having sex with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything's new and shiny.
But even in 3 months in business, sometimes you don't know. I mean, people can. It's almost like you trust people quicker with your heart than you do with your
weird.
portfolio
and your money.
and your money.
Yeah.
Well, back in the AOL chat room days, that's how old I am. I used to have a quote on mine, and it was, "Love is an illusion created by lust."
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
you are just,
I was
churning
deep.
out these
I want
quotes.
all
I was
these
deep back in
shirts.
'98.
98 was great.
I almost did a Beckett laugh there. I had to
Yeah.
Whoa.
It comes on quick.
I'm being channeled.
Okay, so in Vicky, you agree with the 3 month? Or you like me? People can lie. People can cheat. People can.
Yeah, I'm like actually like worse than 3. Like you can lose me in like 2 weeks.
Oh.
So is that your thing? Because
That's my thing. I'm very, very particular. I think I'm supposed to be alone. I really do.
I honestly think that about myself.
And there's
sometimes.
humans that could exist alone. It's not everybody has to find companionship.
And sometimes during a breakup, it's really tough because I think it's always personal during a breakup. But there are times where you break up and it's only because the person just is not mentally ready. It's not anything you did.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not that you're a bad person. And that happens sometimes where it's just not the right time.
Right.
I think I sense a little bit of that with Ariel.
Yeah.
Ariel, Walls Pennington.
Yeah, all you cats got walls.
But I think Arielle has so many things that she wants to do with her life too, and she doesn't want to be dragging somebody along.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm trying
Young.
to figure out me before I introduce anybody else.
I mean, 25 really is. And I'm not trying to be, father time bird with my gray beard over here.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, 25, you still. I mean, you're kind of trying to still figure it
You're
all out.
young.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I wanted to be married, have kids by 25. Now that I'm like, I would die. I would be so confused. I couldn't do it.
Well,
now.
even John Mayer has sang about the quarter life crisis. That is a real thing. But I also think there's a quarter life crisis. I think there's a crisis when you turn 30. I think there's
a crisis probably
when
every
you
7
turn-
years.
when you turn- yeah, I think there's a crisis mentally every 7 years. That's just part of being a human, baby. It's how it is.
And
It
you know,
is.
I was thinking the other day, when I broke up with my children's father, and it was devastating at the time, but if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be sitting here on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
I know for a fact I never would have gotten into the paranormal. I never would have, somebody wouldn't have called me and said, hey, they want somebody to investigate Jason's apartment. And I email you, and it never would have happened if I had stayed in that relationship.
That is, I mean, I always forget how long me and Vicky have been friends. I mean, I've known you longer than Denny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's true.
I
it's
have
true.
a picture of us when I went to the other studio, and you were wearing like Red Lobster biscuit costume.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
You still
You
got
had-
it.
You had them, plastered all over.
I had the.
That was like 07.
By the way, Red Lobster biscuits. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Oh my
That's the
gosh.
best thing they got there.
And they are not as good as when you make them from the store. I get they're trying
Oh
to.
yeah, they're not.
Now you got to go to Red Lobster. Speaking of, we need to make a Red Lobster run today. Let's get some biscuits, dog.
Yeah, they're good, man. I kind of got weirded out when I saw that guy feeding chicken to that duck out in front of it.
Denny's had a terrible Red Lobster store. And by the way, Red Lobster, if you are listening, I'm a huge fan.
I'm a fan too. It just kind of ruined the experience when I seen.
Tell the people.
So I was waiting outside. We had our doggy bag and we're waiting for the company. And this guy's outside feeding chicken to these ducks, and I was like, it kind of turned me off.
Cannibalism.
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to do that. People get well, in the movie The Social Network. There's that part where the guy was feeding chicken to the chicken, and it turned into a big scandal. And I guess that was a real thing that happened.
Pretty messed up.
But just so you know, the people out there, Red Lobster, just to kick it up a notch, you take that biscuit and you dip it in the butter and garlic from your scampi.
Oh,
That takes it
jeez.
to another level.
Somebody came to play today. Vicky, I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
that place is good though.
I could talk for. We need to do a weird whatever mukbang.
Yeah.
I know it sounds so dirty, and people are
I've
like,
seen those.
"Why are you talking about mukbanging all the time, Bird?" Mukbanging is just when you watch people eat food. We're gonna do that. We're gonna get real close, like on these tenders, Denny's.
Yes.
The ASMR part of it is just delicious to the
Oh
ears.
yeah, people wanted us to do that. That whole
Ugh, that stuff gives me goosebumps on like in my eyes.
the whispering. Ariel, okay,
Ugh.
give tell something very whispery to the audience.
Whispery to the audience. I don't know what you're talking about.
Kind of okay. So I don't hate it from you. Usually it makes me want
Cringe.
to
It makes me
run up a
cringe.
wall.
It wins.
But I
Ugh.
think it depends on the
voice.
voice.
Yeah.
Your voice does it. Keep going real quick.
What else would you like me to say?
I'm not trying to turn this into
Right? And I'm like
Vicky.
trying to keep it
I'm not-
PG-13.
I'm not at all trying to make this dirty at all. All right,
What are you
Denny-
wearing?
Denny's, give us a good 10-second whispering.
So here's the kind I don't like. They're like, so I'm walking over here, and then yes, I can feel the scratching. You like the scratching? I hate it. I hate it. It makes me
Why
want.
does what's that horse in your voice?
and why are you
That's a
rubbing?
dirty old man.
That's what they do. They scratch.
Why are you rubbing the microphone
scratch the
like it
microphone.
is a part of a woman? Oh my gosh.
You just scratch on the top there. Yeah.
I don't like when you do it.
horrible. I
And,
hate
and
it.
why do you automatically turn really creepy and you start talking evil?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay, I don't like it when the voice, you can hear the...
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, it's making me sick.
All right, hold on.
You gotta
Hold on.
stop.
I want to try to make Denny's really sick really quick.
Oh.
Okay. Denny's, there's a spider crawling on your butt.
It's horrible.
That's gross.
That's so terrible. It is gross. I apologize for everyone yelling at me about that. What's that
Put
called
a
again?
disclaimer.
A-
ASMR.
As ASMR. Yeah, no, it's a big thing in the
Yeah.
adult world now. It's like a whole weird thing. It doesn't really do anything for me. And I don't. Why else would somebody like that if it's not dirty though? Would somebody just like that because it relaxes them?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
the voice itself. I think in general, though, women sound better whispering than men do. Men just you just sound creepy.
What are you talking about, Vicky?
Exactly.
Yeah. Men do sound creepy when they do it.
Oh, men are creepy.
Like we're just lusting for something.
Let's see what else we got here. We got an email from Emily. How long have we been going on this podcast, by the way? I don't want to go too long.
I think we're 15 minutes shy of an hour.
Gotcha. Okay. Dear Weird Whatever. It's titled How to Be Fun When You're Depressed. I was wondering if you guys ever get depressed and not feel like doing anything, especially in a field like what you guys do. You have to be entertaining even when you are miserable. Do you find it hard to be funny and entertaining when you have depression going on? I'm a yoga instructor, and I really have been depressed a lot lately. There's no rhyme or reason for my depression. I get the blues, as you say, Jaybird. I need to be positive when I'm teaching my yoga class, and I'm just struggling doing that. I question everything now in my life when I didn't used to. Not about my career or anything like that. I think about what happens when we die. Why are we here? It's all very overwhelming to me. Would love some advice on how to deal with being depressed when I need to be very fun and energetic. I just turned 40, so maybe that's part of it. Love the podcast. Emily from Pembroke Pines. Let's start with you, Denny's. Any advice for Emily?
Yeah, so everybody's going to go through the blues, so to speak, and dealing with it. But I think you can just change your way of thought, because I think a lot of humor comes from depression. And I feel like nobody's exempt to depression. You're going to get bouts of it. But finding a way to use the depression, like a lot of times when we're in a bad mood, because like you said on the radio, you have to get back out there and start dancing, so it's kind of tricky. But there's from self-deprecation and being depressed, there's almost a humor born from it that kind of like helps you get through those moments.
Yeah, I mean, I would say from at least my perspective, it's tougher when it's a live event and meeting people.
Yeah.
On the air, you actually can kind of be miserable and rant about stuff and be a
Yeah.
human. So I wouldn't say that we hide at that. Events can be tough. I've been called a quiet dick before just because I'm just not in it, and I'm not trying to be a jerk.
It's tough.
I remember this one girl came to Blue Martini just to meet me. She's like, I've been wanting to meet you, and I got to tell you, you are such a disappointment in person.
Nah. There's some days too.
I was like, okay, thank you.
Some days too. We're wrapping up a day, going out to a late remote. Something bad happens. All that stuff.
Oh, I
It's
mean-
so hard to.
But I mean, I would say with you, Emily, you're a yoga instructor. Maybe there's a thing you can take that depression and turn it into something and be creative with it. I do, like you're saying, I think there's always an opportunity even when you're sad
Yeah.
or depressed. I mean, there's opportunities when you are kicking ass and you're happy.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
if you look and clear the shit away, there is opportunity to grow through depression. There is.
And a lot is learned from depression. Depression,
time.
anger, jealousy, all those things teach you stuff. How to kind of center your emotions.
Alex has got a great question in the chat room. Do you guys think ghosts can talk to us through dreams? If so, how are they able to communicate with our unconscious mind? Do you think in the future we will get advertisements in our dreams? Yeah. Are we at a point where we're going to be TiVoing our dreams? Advertise.
I wish.
Oh my.
I wish I could see my dreams again.
You guys wouldn't. You guys wouldn't be able to handle my dreams. I'm not even kidding.
Why
you.
not?
They
I
would
mean,
cry.
isn't that what reoccurring dreams are kind of like? Like those pests. Like I'm trying to tell you something.
I suffer, and in fact, that's one of the topics today. I mean, I suffer from reoccurring dreams, and it's really rough because what's happening to me now is I'm getting flashbacks of. I'll be in my regular day. And I want to ask you, Vicky, if you've ever heard of this. Some of the dreams I'm having are so terrible and horrific, where I am getting flashbacks in real life, and the dream will come up, and I'll go, "Oh my gosh." Does that, you ever heard of that?
I think it's definitely trying to tell you. I think you need to analyze them a little bit more, even though they're very uncomfortable and scary sometimes. I think you need to analyze them a little bit more.
It's this fucking apartment building. I always start to approach this building, and then I am in the middle of this park in Lake Park, and it's kind of like the building is a part of Lake Park, even though I know it doesn't really exist there, but in the dream it makes sense. And I know as soon as I'm walking up to this apartment and I start seeing the trees and the atmosphere, I'm like, shit, I'm having that dream again.
And what happens after that?
Chaos. I'm either getting chased by a murderer, the cops are after me, there are missiles going off, I'm constantly running. I'm trying to hide. I mean, there's always cops in the distance looking at me, trying to get me for something. So clearly the theme is running, trying to hide.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No idea what that means, Walls Pennington.
Yeah, jeez. You might not need that interpretation.
Do you guys suffer from that? Like a reoccurring dream?
I have a reoccurring dream. It's happened since I was a child, and I'm actually we had talked about this before the podcast, I'm turning it into the next thing that I'm going to delve into the paranormal. Ever since I was little, I am in the dream, I'm fighting some kind of demonic force. And most of the time I can't see it, but I know it's present. And I start to say the Lord's Prayer, and it tries to make me sick so that I can't talk. But I keep fighting it, and then I get louder and louder, and then at the end, I'm basically screaming, and I say, good always overcomes evil. And then whatever it is dissipates and disappears.
What are your thoughts on that, Ariel?
I mean, I've never experienced reoccurring dreams like that, but the moment you stand up to any conflict in your dream is the moment you can move on. I've had a similar experience.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
You say that all the time, Denny's. I gotta fight through it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's weird though. Sometimes I do feel like I do have dream control, but for whatever reason, something so ridiculous or crazy is happening, it yanks me out of my sleep. And I literally, I swear to you, it feels like somebody is taking my body and yanking me right out of my sleep.
Well, they're trying to prevent you from standing up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
fight through
you
it.
need to,
You have
and
to
you need
stay
to
in it.
consciously, when you go to bed and you say, if I have this dream, you need to put it in your mindset that you are going to fight it this time. You are not going to be yanked out of sleep. You are going to have the confrontation, and you are going to win.
Interesting theory about how you may think someone's yanking me out on purpose so I don't confront it. I like that. I think we had a little breakthrough.
So you're forever tormented.
I think we had a breakthrough there.
Yeah.
I like
There you
that
go.
shit. Also, too, saying prayers, does that help trying to keep down things? I mean, you see it in the movies all the time, but does that keep
Right.
down demonic spirit? Is that a real thing?
It depends on what your belief system is. Some people, instead of saying actual prayers, they'll picture themselves in a protective bubble to keep things away from them. It's whatever goes back to, now we're going full circle from the beginning of the show, and we're talking about people's belief systems. It's important to believe in something. So whatever you believe in, then practice it. So if you believe that the prayers are going to keep these things away, then you pray.
You seal your fate by your thoughts. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really does come back down to The Secret. Remember The Rage of The Secret? Remember we used to watch that?
So the secret is just if you visualize, you can make it.
Yep.
You can create it just by having the positivity of thinking of it.
I invited the snack pack over one time. Like, guys, I want to have a meeting with you guys. So they come over. They have no idea what's going on. I've got this big spread of food, and then I go, guys, I need you to sit down. We're watching The Secret together. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What is going on right now? What? Vicky, do you have anything to plug?
I just want to thank the people because a lot of them are weirdos that tuned in. Last week I did a Facebook Live event on Sunday, and it's done super well. And in fact, my next one is coming up on June 9th. It's called PICS, which is Pictures Intuitively Connecting Souls. So if you want to participate, all you have to do is email me your picture ahead of time at contact@pointparanormal.com. And then you'll be on the list. I already have 2 pictures for the next show. And then I will look at the pictures, and you can ask your questions in the chat room, and I answer them. And I was actually kind of shocked at how many people, and a lot of them were loyal weirdos.
Yeah, I do want to say thank you to the loyal weirdos out there. We are doing a call of action right now for our diehard weirdos. If you can, please take this YouTube link and share it with everybody and their mother. And if you guys don't mind, I see you guys going off in the chat room, and I love it. So much feedback. When this is actually uploaded, please go to our Weird Whatever podcast and leave some comments there. Get some. In fact, why don't we have people in the comment section leave their name and their I guess you can't do their information.
Their address.
Yeah, their social security number and their bank account.
Why don't you ask them a question? See, and have them answer it in the comments.
I love it. Okay, why don't you come up with a question, Ariel? Because you have so many ideas over there.
And I also want to do a plug. As you know, people who listened to the show last week, your friend, Bigfoot, Jim Romano, if they donate at least $25 to his GoFundMe, which we do have the links on, my
All the
readings by
social
Vicky
medias.
and all of those links, then I will give you a free reading, and I already have quite a few set up. And
Yeah,
that's great.
I mean, that's really what this podcast is about, doing stuff like that, bringing people together. And that's very kind of Vicky to donate her time.
Very nice.
All that money is going to go to the Bigfoot fundraiser for our boy Bigfoot. His surgery is going to be coming up. We have a kidney donor. We're getting him healthy so he's able to take the kidney. I will give everybody an update on what's going on with that. I really do appreciate all of the feedback and just the love that you guys have shown me and Bigfoot and his family. So thank you about that. Yeah, our Instagram, someone's asking about Instagram. It is JasonKVJ. That's at JasonKVJ. Sign up, become a weirdo. Denny's, anything you want to add?
I just want to let everybody know tonight, a mile-wide walnut asteroid is passing by the Earth. It's a large enough asteroid that has its own moon that orbits it. And that's going to be happening between about 7 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. tonight. And there's a good shot we might not be able to see it. Just keep an eye up at that time. But the closest approach will happen Saturday, 7:05 EDT, roughly 8:05 EST.
I love it. It's awesome.
And it's going to be favorable in this area. We're in the northern end of the southern hemisphere there. So we might be able to catch it tonight.
We are going to get back into interviewing guests. I mean, I just thank you for your patience, y'all, because this whole move was not expected. In fact, 2019 has kind of been nothing but a bunch of curveballs for me personally. It really has been, but I'm getting back to normal. Thank you for your patience. Ariel, thank you for being a good sport. It wasn't such a hot seat, but we wanted to get to know you.
Yeah, more so to get to know you.
Yeah, we're not trying to make you so uncomfortable.
We'll do a hot
here.
seat next week.
A couple would you rathers to end this.
All right.
Would you rather eat every dog you see?
Ugh.
I mean, it has. If you see a dog, you have to eat the dog, or murder your best friend.
Bye, Bobby Joe.
Oh, you killed Bobby Joe.
Would you?
I couldn't.
No.
But I couldn't kill Denny's either. I couldn't kill Denny's.
Yeah, but I mean, the
I'll
choice
stab him
is.
so much smoke.
Can you imagine if I came in here and ate Chewy?
Get so foggy in here.
Oh my gosh, I'd stab you, Vicky.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to eat Chewy right now. He's like right there.
That's what I mean. It's every time you see a dog, you have to try to eat the dog. Yeah, I think I have to. Man, that would Ariel.
My best friend's a dog lover, so she would sacrifice herself.
But you have to kill her though.
That's fine.
And you have to eat her.
What? That was
No.
I'm kidding. I'm
Get
kidding.
used to that. They always add stuff.
Oh yeah, get used to it.
I've seen
Nothing
it.
is
I'm
as
not
it
going
seems.
for it.
Denny's,
I'm gonna be eating dog.
you're gonna eat dog.
Yeah, let all the humans live. You guys all hate me though.
You're a dog killing dick. Okay,
Yeah.
I go with.
You just lost your best friend because you come in here and eat Chewy,
It's a lose-lose.
So you just lost him anyway.
This is such a tough one.
He'll be so bummed out.
I don't think I could ever. I mean, the only time I could ever kill somebody is if they did something terrible to a friend or family.
Yeah.
And I really don't think I could ever kill somebody. But with the one exception, if somebody did something so unspeakable, especially to one of my sisters. Oh, I mean, I don't think I'd be able to. I mean, I'm talking about one of those terrible stories. I don't think I'd be able to keep it together, man.
Are you allowed to kill them with kindness?
Just let it hang. Just let it hang.
Let it hang.
Let that uncomfortable comment hang. I think I gotta kill. Oh, I think I gotta kill my best friend. I'm sorry,
Pie Denny's.
Denny's.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Would you rather grow a worm beard? Everyone sees it worms growing out of your chin, or you have an elephant trunk connected to your butthole.
Elephant trunk all the way, because then you can poop standing up, and from like 5 feet away.
I mean, you got your theory.
Yeah, hey, I'm standing by it.
I love it.
Trunk.
Trunk from the butthole.
Yeah, I gotta go trunk.
Okay, I think I'm going trunk too. And I also feel like you could make that work at parties.
Yeah, you shoot water out of
Or
it.
like when you sleep, you just wrap it around yourself.
Yeah.
And
Use it as kind of little kickstand when you need to
Yes.
lean.
Okay, would you rather be always so super horny to the point where it's a problem, or super hungry to where it's a problem? That aching feeling when you are
It's tough.
yeah, or when you feel like a beast.
God, I'd always be hungry.
You'd pick hunger
Yeah,
over the
because horny's
horniness.
gonna get you in trouble.
You're right, Vicky. You look horrified.
Well, yeah, because I have no self-control for either.
I know.
Whoa.
I mean, but especially food. I mean, I can really eat some
Wow.
bad stuff.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go horny with this one.
I think I'm gonna go.
You have to gyrate on everything.
I think I'm gonna go horny too.
Stop adding Denny's.
I'm just saying, them's the truth.
No, Denny's is right. What he adds on is official. I'm gonna go. I think I have to say horny, and I have to somehow harness it, and do a lot of just.
I could fight that more obviously than I could the food thing.
The other thing too about the food, you have a aching. You have to eat. I mean,
Yeah.
you need that. When you're hungry, that's such a shitty feeling.
Oh, it makes you dizzy and tired.
Well, very good, gang. You guys answered them great. Did you answer? Yeah.
Oh, well, I would do hungry, and everybody would just have to deal with me being a bitch.
Okay. All right. I like it. I do you ever get hangry? Is that a real thing for you?
So I have a really
you-
high tolerance.
But you can't. I can tell sometimes when you need to eat.
Well, so I can hold off as long as possible. I can go to about 4:35 before I have to eat something, and if I go a little bit after that, I start getting a little grumpy.
Yeah, he does. If you sound like we're married. You
Yeah.
know, my baby can't eat cheese. It hurts his tummy.
I do stay away from it.
He does. Well, thank you guys for listening. Like we said, please share the podcast. We would really appreciate that. Not to beg you, but we're begging you. We love you all, and Bigfoot is real.
What was that? What's that sound? It's aliens and they're living in your town. They have arrived. They're all around. So many aliens living in your town. Are you scared of aliens? Well, you should be, 'cause aliens wanna probe around in your booty.